morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host, and I have a really freaking awesome guest on today. She's not on yet. She'll be here in just a second, but I want to say this. Look, real quick, this show is now being sponsored by Matt Koenig and the Rockstar Auto Conference, and I really appreciate it, Matt. He is a rock star, and there are unbelievable amounts of women speaking at the Rockstar Auto Conference this year. And that being, I can't name all of them because I don't have them all memorized. But my guest today is one of the speakers, and she is joining us from Mexico, all the way from down near Cancun. I've got the awesome Katie Mayers on the show. Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ken. I'm so excited to be on with you again. Second time. It's a privilege.
It's awesome. So, and this is dress down casual Friday, so I dressed down in light of the fact that you're sitting on the beach in Mexico.
Yes, I did. I wore my fedora and I'm definitely casual today. Sans, makeup, nothing. Just as real as it gets.
I love it, Katie. And Katie, you're such a good person, and you're a client of mine. You're a great friend of mine. I love your energy, and you and I were talking a little bit in text messaging this morning. And you've already come on the show and told your story, which is absolutely amazing. If you guys haven't heard Katie's entire story, make sure that you go back. In fact, I'll post a link to the original interview I did with you. I'll post that after the show. But today we're going to talk about all the benefits of some of the stuff you do, and that's yoga and meditation.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That practice is my life. It keeps me balanced in my crazy world. That's for sure.
And you have a crazy, crazy schedule. It's insane. In fact, you gave me access to your calendar so we could plan meetings and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I had to click it off. It was taking up my entire screen. I'm like, that's insane. So like, you just got back, you live in Canada, and Jill's on here. She says, beautiful girl, beautiful scenery.
Thank you, Jill.
So you just get back. You live in Canada, up in Toronto. You just get back from Singapore. And I'm like, oh, good. I'm going to be able to tie you down for a meeting. You're like, actually, no, I'm leaving for Mexico. I'm like, God. So let's talk about, because that is an intense schedule. I mean, flying from Toronto, Canada to Singapore is literally like a whole day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my flight down there was about 30 hours. My flight home, thankfully, was only about 27, so I shaved off a few hours there.
Jeez.
And then I had a 2-day turnaround. I took an earlier flight home to see my kids. I was actually only supposed to be home for 1 day before I took off to Mexico. But I surprised them and I took a earlier flight home. So I got 2 days at home before I left at 4 a.m. on Tuesday to come out and facilitate here with an amazing client out in Mexico.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
So how do you know that I've meditated every day of my life for 16 years now, and I'd like to hear you talk about what that does for you, what it means to you, and how. And I don't know yoga, so maybe talk. And I know you have a yoga studio, right? So,
I do.
So
yeah,
talk
I just
a little
one,
bit about that. Tell everybody what that is.
Well, meditation is a real way for me to center myself. It's my 20 minutes to 30 minutes of quiet in my day. My travel schedule is crazy. When I'm home, I was talking to my husband before I left for Singapore, and I said, when I'm with clients, I'm on. When I'm in the airport, I'm on, because you just never know who you're going to see. When I get home, I'm on because I want to be the best for my kids. And also with my husband, I'm on. So it's nonstop. So for me, meditation is that, 20, 25, 30 minutes, depending on what I can fit in, of complete stillness, and really a time for me to focus on me. A lot of business folks will actually use meditation to help their business grow. But I believe that in order for my business to grow, I need to grow. So my meditation practice is not focused on imagining the dollar signs coming in or imagining the amount of clients that are going to roll through the door. It's really about focusing on self-worth and self-love, really focusing on moving past fear, because fear is a big thing. I've had a big realization, in the last, month and a half about how much we don't do or do based off of fear. So a lot of my meditation recently has been based around pushing past fears and being your best self you can. And so that 20, 30 minutes a day is just, it's my serenity. It's my sanctity. I wish I could say every single day. It's really hard when you're doing a 27-hour plane ride, or being up at 4 a.m. And literally I arrived in Mexico at 10:30 and I facilitated at 1 o'clock. So I got to the resort. I got to the resort at 12:30, 12:35. I had to quickly change and put some makeup on and get to the facilitation that I was facilitating for 4 hours. So,
oh my God.
So there are days where it doesn't happen. Although I have to say I'm a big, I was actually having a real laugh with, one of my clients, employees last night at dinner. I'm a big bath taker. I love like the serenity of the bathtub at night.
Yeah.
And a glass of wine. I get my meditation in. I think my bath time is like a kid, but it's a form of meditation. So at least once a day, I get some sort of serenity.
Yeah, and I think it's really about just finding a place, because there's times when I've only meditated for 5 minutes, but it's really about finding that place or that time where you can just stop and focus on your breath and focus on going inside and because I believe that all of the answers that we have or desire are inside of us, right?
Oh, I totally agree. And when you put it that way, I do that often. Actually, that's been a practice of mine for the last few years, where I have Post-it notes around my house saying, what's your relationship with the present moment? And every time I see it, I take that moment just to like stop and breathe. And I'm very fortunate to be able to visit places around the world that are beautiful. And so whenever I see that raindrop fall or the sun rise or the feeling of the sun on me, it takes my breath away almost every time. And I always take a few minutes just to be grateful for being in that space. So you're right. Meditation doesn't have to be 20 or 30 minutes long. But as long as you're practicing that mindfulness every day, then it's a great start.
I love it. And what does it do for you to obviously it keeps you grounded, but what is explain a little bit about what yoga is, because I've never done yoga. My mother-in-law, actually, she's 74. She just started doing yoga at for the first time in her life, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what is yoga? Tell us what yoga is.
Other than being an awesome workout, a fantastic strength, it's a form of meditation where you focus on your breath for an hour. All you're doing is feeling yourself breathe in and out with every single movement. And it's really about opening up your heart to the world and allowing for that source energy and everything that's around you to come in. I was doing yoga yesterday morning, did sunrise yoga here on the beach. And just what a beautiful moment just to be thankful and beyond the stretching and beyond the athleticism behind it is the way that your heart opens to the world and allows everything else to come in. So it's a form of meditation. It's a form of leaving judgment at the door. They say in yoga, there is no judgment. And your yoga practice is your yoga practice, and everybody's yoga practice is different. And to focus just on you, on your mat, And it's amazing the aha moments that come when, especially if you have a great instructor, when you're on your mat. And for me, one of my biggest aha moments was on December 31st, 2018. And that was when I decided, you know, I'm not going to set goals this year. I'm going to just decide how I want to show up in the world. And so every day working towards being more consistent and more regimented and, you know, getting up at 5 a.m. and doing all the things that I need to do in order to be fulfilled, but in order to be able to be my best self so that I can give to everyone around me. So yoga has a big place in my heart, and it's something that you don't need to be the best. You don't need to be able to stretch and do a perfect downward dog or child's pose, because it's less about that. I see women come into yoga classes and men who will sit there and just lay in shavasana for the whole hour and just be present on their mat. So yoga is different and means different things to different people, but we're all different. So that's the beauty of it.
That's absolutely phenomenal. So why don't you talk a little bit about, because we're not going to make this a long show today. I know your Mexico internet is a little bit sketchy, so we don't want to push it.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, it's not your fault. We don't want to push Mexico to the limits here. But so let's talk about what you do, because, you know, for those that don't know, I mean, you have some, and I won't mention them. You can mention them if you want to name drop some of your clients. But you've got some gigantic clients that you travel all over the world and work with, and you go out on cruise ships, and like, it's crazy.
I do.
So talk a little bit about what you do and how it impacts your clients in a positive way.
So, I mean, everything that we've just spoken about, meditation, yoga, being present, being aware of your surroundings, being grateful, I bring that every single facilitation, workshop, keynote talk, because for me, I do this, and whenever there's executives in the room, I tell them to plug their ears, because I say, I don't care if you change professionally. My hope is that you change personally and you decide how you want to show up in the world, because when you do that, your professional, the way you are professionally is going to evolve, because you're evolving as a person. So in everything that I do, and I mean, my core methodology, it's all about really helping somebody develop the strongest self at the core of who they are.
Yeah.
And it's actually evolved a lot in the last few years. You know, I came out and brand experience expert, and work with major organizations all over the world developing their guest experience, their client experience. And then there's also, the leadership development. But really what's starting to evolve and everything that I'm doing is helping people become more accountable, helping people decide how they want to show up, helping these the clients that I have push past where they are, so push past their fear, and really see that change and really inspire that positive, actionable change. And within that, we come up with programs and we come up with the systems and the processes. But it's really about that change. And for me, my evolution and what I'm doing with my clients is so much deeper than a system or a process. It is about change at the core. It's about evolving at the core.
Love it, love it, love it. And again, you have clients that you're traveling the world doing this for, and I think it's absolutely amazing. So I mean, you're a a customer experience expert. Would that be correct?
I would call myself that, yes.
So you teach your clients and their employees how to create the perfect or near perfect customer experience. Did we lose you?
Yeah, I mean, I teach them how to deliver a genuine experience. Here, there?
Yeah.
Did you lose me?
Just a little hiccup.
Hello? Are we back?
Yep, we're good.
Are we okay?
Yep.
All right. So yeah, I help clients, my partners. I teach them how to be genuine and how to provide a tailored, personalized experience, and how to be anticipatory, and how to really connect with that limbic brain, make an emotional connection with their customers. Because at the end of the day, we're so caught up in technology, and we text each other versus picking up the phone. That human interaction is, very, very slim. And a lot of us have forgotten how to have that human interaction. And really, that's all the guests really want. So I work with them to develop the systems. So like one of my clients has 20,000 employees across the world so that everybody can execute it, but also just how they need to be and how they show up every day for their guests and for each other. So yeah, it's amazing. It's so much fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and I don't want to stay on a whole lot longer, and it's only because I know you're busy as all get out. This was a last minute idea that we had, and to do this from the beach, I think it's freaking awesome. It's really making me want to go to Mexico. You got
to get a passport.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that'd be a first step. But I did see somebody carrying a big dragon behind you or something a minute ago. I don't know what that was. No, your other side. Yeah, I saw something.
I don't know.
But anyway, like Katie, you're amazing. I know you're one of the keynote speakers at the Rockstar Auto Conference, and is that May?
Yes, I am.
May. I gotta get the dates down, but right?
It's like, I feel like it's the 14th, 15th, May 14th, 15th in there. Yes.
Yeah. So you've got some amazing things happening in your world, and you're helping a lot of people, and that's growing every day. Like, you're helping so many people deliver and execute on the perfect customer experience, and I love that. The world needs more of that. Did I lose you again?
Well, I had to give to the world, so even if just in a little, I don't know. Did you? I'm going to walk a little.
Your video.
I'm going to walk and see if I can get better connection.
There you go.
I'm walking now.
You're good.
Yeah.
I think.
There we go.
Okay. Well, listen,
right.
I don't want to
better?
keep you. I don't want to keep you. I want to say thank you for taking the time to hop on here and share some of your wisdom with my audience. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to doing some great things with you. And
have a fantastic weekend.
You do the same. Thank you so much, Katie.
All right, take care. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.